Hello everyone, my name is Alyssa and I'm a ceramic artist from Sarasota, Florida, currently living in Jacksonville. This is my artist presentation. So a little bit about myself, I mainly focus on functional pottery and utilitarian vessels, pieces that are meant to be used, handled, and experienced in everyday life. Beyond making, I also really enjoy being involved in community and giving back. I think that there's something powerful to be said about the connection fostered through clay. My background and artistic approach comes from a deep interest in the relationship between form, surface, material, and use, ideas that I've been exploring in my recent body of work. A little bit about my process. I mainly use wheel throwing, but there's a combination of techniques including altering, slab building with drape molds, and sometimes slip casting. For my firing process, I atmospheric fire mainly with soda, but sometimes with salt and wood. More recently, I started incorporating terra sigillata to enhance my surface decoration, and also slip. In the image on the left, I am throwing at the wheel, and on the image of the right, you can kind of see the slip casting process. Yeah. In this next slide, it is an image of my finished work from the slip casting process that I used from a plaster mold. These two images are an example of how I work in the studio. After I throw pieces on the wheel, I carve into them, cut them, and reshape my forms to kind of have it all flow. These are some finished pieces that I have wheel thrown and altered, then soda fired. In addition to this, I also work with slab building using drape molds, which allow me to create softer, more organic shapes. That method kind of gives me freedom to experiment with texture and negative space. I also enjoyed developing terra sigillata, which is a very fine slip that I burnish onto the surface to create a soft satin finish. This process connects me to ancient pottery traditions and emphasizes the tactile nature of clay. This is going to be a video of me stoking the wood kiln. This is a picture of the kiln that I was stoking wood into. It's one of our train kilns on campus. This is a video of us putting salt into the firing kiln to create a different surface. This is an image of me spraying soda into one of the ports, which kind of has the same concept. We're spraying a solution into the kiln that sticks to the pieces and will melt and crystallize and create a different surface. And in this last image, it is a picture of the soda kiln right after we opened the door, after it was done cooling, right before unloading. So it's interesting to see all the different finishes just from one firing. In my inspiration, I like to look at line work, cubism, Kuranuki, curves and lines in nature, traveling, history, and community. My inspiration comes from a range of sources. One of my major influences was my time in Utah, which is the picture on the bottom. where I spent a lot of time observing the natural rock formations and harvesting wild clay. The picture on the top left is an image of cubism, and the picture on the top right is an image of a Japanese technique called kuranuki. The layers, textures, and erosion patterns that I saw in Utah deeply reminded me of kuranuki, which is an old Japanese carving techniques where forms are revealed by cutting away clay rather than building up. The process of this and the rocks both involve revealing what's hidden within, and that idea has stuck with me. My work also is inspired by the connection through history and the respect I have for clay by utilizing early ceramics techniques like terra gelata and kuranuki. So the concepts that I feel are really strong include sharing connection between the maker, the material, and the user through functional and utilitarian vessels. It's interesting how handmade objects carry traces of human touch and how those traces are experienced by the person who uses it. I think a lot about ritual and daily use. Pottery has always had this quiet power to connect people to history, to earth, and to one another. For me, making functional work is about tradition. In addition to history, understanding it helps me see pottery as more than just art. It is embedded in early human civilization and has been used for thousands of years to express connection and care. It amazes me to see pots from thousands of years ago and be able to understand the connection between the vessel and the maker. In these last few slides, I just want to talk about through all of the elements, process, conception, and inspiration. My work becomes a reflection of both tradition and individuality. Every piece carries a conversation between the clay, the fire, and the hands that shape it. Ultimately, my goal is to create pottery that feels intimate and alive, inviting users to slow down, notice texture, and appreciate quiet moments that handmade objects bring into daily life. And that's all. Thank you for listening.